Welcome to IIT Daily, where innovation meets inspiration. This year, the CBT Course 2025 brings together brilliant minds, thought leaders, and change makers from around the world. Before the event kicks off, we sat down with some of the incredible speakers to get an exclusive peek into their ideas, insights, and what they are most excited to share. Stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe for more exclusive content from CBT 2025.
Hello everyone, I am Virender Singh, founder of BioPatrika. Welcome to this CBT course pre-event interview series. Today we have with us Professor Anurag Rathore from IIT Delhi. Welcome, Professor Anurag.
Thank you, Virender.
Before we start, could you briefly introduce yourself?
So I'm a chemical engineer by training. I did my undergrad at IIT Delhi, master's and PhD from Yale University in the US, worked for Pfizer and then for Amgen in US before returning back. And I've been faculty here at IIT Delhi for 16 years now.
Yeah, that's good to know. So as we can see, it's almost a decade since this course is running. So what inspired you to actually start this course?
So I think, after I came to IIT from industry, I saw that there were not many courses, in the areas that we try to target from this course. So if you look at India in general, obviously we have, very good colleges, we have very bright students, but most of the education, as it is in most countries worldwide, is focused on the fundamentals, right? So you have people who are very good biochemists, they may be very good chemical engineers, they may be very good microbiologists, but they would not have much experience, with topics like, say, data analytics or process validation or scale up or GMP manufacturing, right? So the idea was that if we can create something which would be of interest both for students but even for industry, where people can kind of learn about topics and best practices as of today, because ultimately biopharmaceutical manufacturing is it's a dynamic process in the sense that things are changing, right? Practices are changing, new technologies are coming, new approaches are being created. So I think there is a need for providing an avenue where those best practices can be shared with the industry and with academia.
I must say so. It's a great initiative considering the Indian academic and industry scenario. So looking back at CBT course, so it looks like it brings academicians, experts from industry, as well as regulatory professionals together. So what unique perspective you will be bringing to this course this year?
Yeah, so whenever we decide on what courses to run, I try to see what is of relevance today. Because over time, what has happened is that majority of my participants come from industry. So I try to think from industry perspective on, what are the topics that, their employees would want to learn and what would be relevant. We also have a pretty significant, as in like, every year, I think we train 50 people from CDSCO. So that's also a big, chunk or big piece of my pie overall of the participants. So for this year, for example, I picked on data analytics because I think, that is relevant as, AI/ML makes its way into biopharmaceutical manufacturing. So that is one of the themes. In terms of we also have a new course which we are running on what you would call as TechOps. So this is stuff that you do when a company has a commercial facility and you're doing large scale commercial manufacturing. So I thought that's something which would be of interest and also relevance to the biopharma industry, as more and more companies are have now manufacturing facilities and they are aspiring to be global manufacturers. So that's another one. We are also running a course on new modalities because things like ADCs and VLPs and CAR-T, these are kind of rising gradually. Also rising in India. So I thought that's something that may be of interest to people in industry because they would like to know a little bit about what these are, how do they work, and where the word is on these therapies.
Yeah, it's good to know that you have already added all the new modalities, TechOps to this year's course, and I am sure that participants will love this. So, coming back to CBT course, so if we see CBT course, so we already see the participants from like different domains. So how do you think CBT course could bridge scientific research which is happening in academia with the biopharmaceutical applications?
Yeah, so I think if you look at our speakers, you'll see roughly, I would say, for half of them come from academia, right? So in these courses, we don't go into basic sciences because then I think it becomes too broad, for something to try to do in a single event. But the focus is again, our primary kind of audience is industry and of course regulators, right? So the focus is on if there are new technology developments happening in academia which are mature enough to be brought into commercial organizations now. Those are the things that we aspire to present at this thing. So people, you'll see if you look at those talks, you'll see that most of the speakers coming from academia are presenting like cutting edge technologies which are mature enough, like I said, because I don't want to present stuff which is so new that it is decade away from implementation. But my focus is to have people present on things which are ready for implementation now.
Yeah, makes sense. And I think that will enhance academia industry collaboration when things are ready and industry could adopt it. Yeah. So again, looking at the theme of CBT course 2025, it looks like you have introduced Biopharma 4.0, advanced manufacturing, as well as regulatory frameworks. Uh, Already you have like discussed about this, but how do you think these new additions are relevant to Indian biopharma today?
Yeah, so in the regulatory, for example, the probably a relevant development is that we are coming out with new guidelines. So the guidelines for similar biologics has just been revised. There have been some major changes. So that's something I think we might want to present. So I'll have someone from CDSCO present that to the audience. In manufacturing, I feel that. It's I mean, we have obviously a lot of companies with manufacturing facilities, but so far the basis has, I mean, the primary focus has been on capitalizing on low cost labor, right? So India, obviously, manufacturing in India would be cheaper than manufacturing in North America or Europe, and that's something that companies leverage. But I think over time, what companies are already realizing is that the low cost labor kind of advantage that you have, it never lasts forever, right? Because salaries keep increasing. There are other countries that will always, they'll offer even lower labor cost, right? So you can't compete on that alone. And I think it's really important for the industry to start investing into technology because the best thing is obviously you capitalize your low cost labor advantage that you have, but you also become cost efficient from a technological perspective. So that's the reason we picked on that theme for this is in biopharma manufacturing. And again, that doesn't mean best practices doesn't mean that something which is fancy or intellectually more challenging. Ultimately, it has to make manufacturing more efficient, right? So that is the real target. That how do you use technology to have a more efficient manufacturing outcome?
Yeah, I think that's important point to move from low cost labor to better technology to have the overall advancement rather than getting stuck at one point. So, so my last question is, what message or advice you will give to young participants, researchers, or professionals who are looking forward to join this event?
Yeah, so I'm really, I mean, again, as a host, obviously I want to make sure that people come here, they learn what they came here to learn, but they also, have a good time at the event. So I hope they enjoy, the Delhi and IIT Delhi campus and the event. But I think in general, people who are coming or even those who are not coming, I think, my only request is that the young people ought to continue, investing in themselves. I mean, there is always a need to learn more things, especially for young people, because I mean, when I meet these people, they're really bright. We have really bright people. They're really smart. Uh, but that alone, is not enough, right? Because you have a long career. Most people are working for 30 plus years. So there is this need for, making sure that you are continuously developing yourself and taking that time and effort to continuing to improve yourself and upskilling yourself. Whether you do it, at this event or anywhere else, that's not really that important.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Professor Anurag Rathore, for sharing all your insights and giving us preview of what to expect at CBT Course 2025. And I'm sure there'll be more participants and they'll learn a lot from this event. Thanks a lot once again.
Thank you, Virender, and all the best to your BioPatrika.